Hello, good morning students. See, welcome back to our e-learning session, and this is your third lecture of accounts chapter number 10, trial balance. See, it is very easy chapter. You just have to know about it is the account has a debit balance and it has a credit balance. You just have to know about that only, right? On the balance is already given, name of account and balance, that is amount is already given. You just have to simplify that. You just have to clarify that which account has which balance. It says a debit balance, so write down on the debit side. If it is a credit balance, then write down on the credit side, nothing else, and then make the total. If your total is tally, then your answer is correct and you will get minimum 10 marks, 8 to 10 marks for this chapter, for these sums. See, in our last session we complete illustration number 3, and I was giving you the homework of exercise 4, exercise sum number 4, 1 2 3 4, right? I hope you all did that because the theory is very easy, as well as the fourth sum of your exercise is very easy, but some students don't know about also here right now that the balance, that means here some students have a difficulties in sum number 4. So I will do that sum on the board right now, and see that we have to discuss about the fourth point. I told you in my last session that we have to discuss about the fourth point, that is mathematically correct trial balance but incorrect as per the rules of the accounts. That 4 point, that is illustration number 4, and the next fifth point, that is incorrect trial balance as per the mathematical and accounting rules, that both point are cancelled by the government for this year. That's why these points are also here. We are not doing that points we are doing in our regular class, at school. So here your point number 4, that is illustration number 4, and point number 5, that is illustration number 5, is now cancelled. That's why we are not doing that, and that's why here we are doing exercise sum number 4, your doubt, as well as the next sum number 5, and then this chapter is completed. So it's very easy as well as very short chapter for you in accounts, right? So shall we start? Sum number 4, exercise. See, from the given information, I am reading the question. From the given information, prepare trial balance of Praveen Patel as on 31st/3/2016. Here we have to prepare the trial balance normally, and the name of accounts and amount is given. That is just like illustration number 3, right? Name of accounts, amount, name of account, amount is given, and on the basis of that we have to just clarify that which account has which balance, debit balance amount, credit balance amount. You can draw the trial balance like this also, as well as per the illustration number 2, name of accounts, LF, debit and credit, 2 columns. That is here as per the first method we can draw the trial balance as name of account, LF, debit balance, credit balance, or you can draw the trial balance as per the method number 2, that is illustration number 3, right? Debit balance amount, credit balance amount. Just write down the balance. See, the second method, I hope second method is very easy. Just you have to write down debit balance on this side, credit balance on this side, and make the total. Both the side make the total must be tally. Okay, so here I am doing this sum also with the method number 2. If you want that the first method is easy for you, you can do it, right? So you just have to know which account has which balance, debit or credit, nothing else. Which method you are using, that doesn't important. So you can use method number 1 or method number 2, that is as per illustration number 2 or as per illustration number 3. You can use any of the method. Okay, so shall we start? Exercise 10, sum number 4. Trial balance of Praveen Patel as on 31st/3/19. as on 31st/3/2019. Debit balance amount, credit balance amount. Debit balance amount, credit balance amount. Yes, but first of all, take a pencil. We have to write down near to the account name which account has which balance, and then just write down the balance on the appropriate side. Okay, debit balance on debit side and credit balance on credit side. So first of all, take a pencil and write down near to each of the account. First of all, opening stock. Opening stock as which account? Opening stock as always debit balance, right? Opening stock debit balance, closing stock also debit balance, but whenever the closing stock is given into the textbook, here we don't have to record that here on the debit side. Okay, so only opening stock has a debit balance, so write down D near to opening stock. 7440 debit side, opening stock near to that, write down D. Then wages, again our expenses is there, write down D near to them. Wages, D. Sales is our income, or we can say stock goes out, assets goes out. That's why credited, C near to sales, write down C's. Then repairing is expenses. All expenses are debited. That's why write down D near to repairing. Then tax. Again, tax is our expense, right? So all expenses are debited. So write down D near to tax. Then land and building. Land and building is our assets. See, I told you all the real accounts, all the assets must have a debit balance. That's why D near to land and building. Again, plant and machinery. Plant and machinery is also our assets. That's why D debit balance. Then electricity expenses, expense. That's why D. All expenses are debited. See the rules. We have to just follow the rules. All real account, that is all assets, debit balance. All expenses, debit balance. All income, credit balance. All liability, credit balance. Right? Just write down the 4 rules for this chapter. First, all real accounts, that is all the assets. Here, debit balance. Second, all the expenses, always or loss. Expenses or loss, debit balance. All the incomes and gains, credit balance. All the liabilities, credit balance. Right? So, there is only 4 rules for this chapter. Next, capital. Capital is honors capital. Capital has always credit balance, capital. Because capital is the liability for the firm. I am honor and I am giving 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees or 5 lakh rupees to my business as a capital. That's why capital is the liability for the business. Business, that is an artificial person, and he has to pay me rupees 5 lakh after closing of the business. That's why that is capital is also liability for the business, and that's why capital has always credit balance, right? So write down C near to capital. Then office salary, salary is expense, that's why D near to that, write down D. Patent, what is patent? Patent means one type of intangible assets. We already discussed about the patent, trademark, copyright here and goodwill in the first chapter, that is terminology. In the terminology, I told you that what is patent? Patent is one type of intangible assets, and here after the regular class we are doing I am explaining you all the intangible assets, which are the intangible assets and why it is called intangible assets, right? So here just don't think only anything about that, just write down that it is our assets, and that's why asset has debit balance. That's why write down patents, debit balance. D, bank balance, again bank balance is there, that's why debit balance, that is our assets. Write down near to bank balance. D, bank loan, loan is our liability. We are borrowing a loan from bank and we have to pay in future the bank loan, that's why bank loan is a liability, and that's why C, credit. Carriage inward and carriage outward, see, two words are there. Carriage inward means purchase related expenses, carriage outward means sales related expenses, but both are expenses and expense is always debited. That's why write down D near to carriage inward. Purchase, again our expense as well as stock comes into the business, both the way. If we are consider purchase as a real account, then again stock comes into the business, that's why debit. Or if we are consider purchase as a nominal account, then expense is there, that's why also it is debited. That's why purchase, here we have to write down D near to purchase, D near to sales, C always. Carriage outward, I told you both are expenses, one is purchase related, one is sales related, but both are expenses, that's why debit. Debit balance, write down D near to carriage outward. Debtors, debtors is also our assets, we have to receive some amount from them in future, right? So debtors is also our assets, that's why debtors, debit balance. D, cash balance, cash balance always balance, cash and bank balance word is given, that means is our assets, and that's why debit. But if the word, new word is there, bank OD, OD means overdraft, it is not given in this sum, but if the word bank overdraft is there, that means we have to pay, it is a short-term loan and we have to pay that loan in the nearest future, that's why that is our liability, short-term liability, and that's why bank overdraft is given if in the question, then that is our liability, that's why credit balance. But here bank balance and cash balance is given, that's why both the balance is debit balance. So cash balance is D near to that. Then loose tools, what is that? Loose tools is our assets for the business, right? So here all the assets compulsory debit balance, so write down D, loose tools is equal to our assets and assets is equal to D, debit balance. Creditors, again creditors is our liability, we have to pay in nearest future, that's why C, credit balance. Sundry income, income always credited, that's why write down C near to them. Office furniture, furniture or office furniture, whatever that, furniture is the assets for the business, that's why D. And the last one, goodwill, I told you patent, trademark, copyright, goodwill, all are our intangible assets, and always assets as a debit balance, so goodwill, near to goodwill we have to write down D. Okay, so all the accounts are completed. Now just we have to make the copy and write down here debit balance, debit D, whatever the D, wherever the we are writing out the D, we have to write down on this side. Whenever we are writing out C near to each account, we have to write down on this side. Okay, so first opening stock, I am writing out. Just write down and tally the account, tally the trial balance. 7440. Wages, 4,000. Sales, credit side, 48,000. Repairing, only repairing. See, repairing means repairing expenses. So write down repairing, 800 on debit side. Tax expense, debit side, 600. Land and building, asset, debit side 2,400. Machinery, plant and machinery, 3,000. Electricity expense, 920 debit side. Capital, credit balance, 16,000. Office salary expense, 1,000 debit side because D is written in nearest to them. Patent asset debit side, 400 rupees. Bank balance, debit side 1,800. Bank loan liability, 1,760. Carriage inward, purchase and carriage outward, carriage inward 1,200. Purchase 30,000. Carriage outward 600. So all has a debit balance. Debtors, again assets, that's why debit, 8,000. Cash balance only 80 rupees, but we have to record cash balance 80 rupees. Loose tools, I told you loose tools is our assets. Amount is 720. Creditors, liability, 3,200. Sundry income, 240. Office furniture, debit balance, 240. And the goodwill again our assets, that's why here write down goodwill, amount is 6,000. So your trial balance is over here. and make the total and tally the total. $7,440 plus 4,000 plus 800 plus 600 plus 2,400 plus 3,000, 920, 1,000, 400, 1,800, 1,200, 30,000, 600, 8,000, 80, 720, 240 and 6,000. The total is 69,200. Just we are writing out here first 69,200. The total is correct or not? First of all, we have to make tally. Less, see, I am not adding these, less these, all these amount. 48,000 less 16,000 less 1,760 less 3,200 less 240. Yes, your balance is 0. So the balance amount total is tally, and we have to make one line after that. 69,200 is the total. So your first sum, that is exercise sum number 4, practical sum, very easy, but one or two accounts are in doubts, so I am doing all full the sum on the board. So first of all, please write down this sum, and then we will discuss about the next sum, that is sum number 5. And after that your chapter is over. Now we have to in the next session we have to do the next chapter, that is bank reconciliation statement. See, write down this first. See, bank reconciliation statement is most important and very rule applied chapter, right? It is fully based on the rules. I am explaining you that chapter, but here at that time I was give you the 8 to 10 rules to do the sums. Okay, and it is fully based on the rules, so please strictly do that, because 8 to 10 marks also. See, this is the new chapters, all the new chapters will ask in your second term examinations, which is on the February first or second week, right? So you have to do these all the new chapters, because from the past chapters the 1 or 2 chapter will ask, and the after Diwali whatever the new chapters are there, I am asking you that chapters in the next second term examinations. Okay, so please, if you are not completely ready with these chapters, then you cannot adjust. See, in this time now the papers is not given from the home to the home. Okay, so please be ready for that. All the chapters please complete. If not, and we have to do all the exercise and example sums in your exercise and example book. You have to do that. Okay, so please do that. And this is very easy chapter, as well as this very easy sum is there. Now we will discuss about the next sum. Take a pencil and write down D and C near to each and every account. Sum number 5. First of all, write down this. Sorry. Sum number 5. I am reading the question first. From the following balance of the accounts, prepare a trial balance of Shree Bridge Mohan as on 31st/2019. Name of account, opening stock. What is that? Again, opening stock is that. What means of that? Here debit balance, because always the account stock, that is our assets, and that is here all the real accounts, 4 rules are there. All the asset debit balance, all the expenses debit balance, and loss debit balance. Incomes credit balance, liability credit balance. Just follow these 4 rules, nothing else, right? So opening stock debit balance, so write down D near to them. Freehold assets. Assets, what is that? That means what? All the real accounts has a debit balance, or you can say all the asset has a debit balance. That's why write down D near to them. Debtors, sundry debtors means what? Again, debtors is our asset. That's why it's current assets. That's why also debited. Write down D near to sundry debtors. Expense, factory expense or any of the expense, all the expenses has a debit balance. So write down D near to factory expense. Then purchase of raw material. Always purchase is, you can say it's a nominal account expense for the business, or you can say it's a assets. That's why purchase is always debited. Purchase of whatever. Purchase of goods, purchase of raw material, purchase of furniture, purchase of any assets. Always purchase means our expense or assets. So both the side here you have to write down D, right? Both the way you have to write down D. That's why D debit balance. Then factory rent. Factory rent, that is also our expense. So debit balance. Discount allowed, also expenses. That's why debit balance. Sundry creditors. Creditors means our liability. Always credit balance. So write down C near to that. Creditors. Then bad debt reserve. See, all type of reserves. Underline the particular word. All the reserves must be created. See, it is not our asset. It is not our liability. Right? But reserve is a provision. Reserve, that particular word is as a credit balance. So please write down the 5th rule. First rule, all the assets debit, all the expenses and losses debit, all the liability credit, all the incomes credit. 4 rules. Now 5th rule, all the provisions and reserves credit balance. Rule number 5 for this chapter, all the provisions or reserves has a credit balance, or write down credit balance near to that. That's why bad debt reserve, credit balance. Underline the word reserve. Reserve word is there. Whenever the reserve word is there, you write down the credit balance, that is C. Okay. Next, commission paid. See, the word commission paid is given, but if it is not given, only commission is given, then you have to consider commission is a paid. The word received is there, then you have to consider that it is our income. Commission received word is there, then you have to consider that is our income. But only if commission is given or the commission paid is given, both the way you have to write down that is our expenses, and that's why D. Write down debit balance D near to commission paid. Office expense, again expense is there, that's why D. Traveling expense, again expense is there, that's why D. Debit balance in both the accounts. Then bank balance. I told you bank balance, cash balance, both word. If the balance word is given, then it is your assets, that's why debit balance. But bank overdraft, if the word bank overdraft is given, then it is called a liability, and that's why it says a credit balance. But the bank balance word is given here, that's why bank balance has a debit balance. So write down D near to bank balance. Now loan borrowed. Loan borrowed means our liability. We have to take back this loan in nearest future, right? So that is our liability, that's why credit balance 3000 credit balance C. Write down C near to loan borrowed. Next, capital, no, net sales or sales, whatever. Sales is our income, that's why credit balance. As well as if we are considering sales as a assets, then goods goes out, that's why also credited. Sales means stock goes out, right? That's why also credited. As well as if sales is considered as a nominal account, then it is our income, and that's why credited. So write down net sales. Sales or net sales, both are common, right? So write down just sales is equal to, or net sales is equal to credit balance. So C. Next, plant machinery, again assets, write down D, debit balance. Wages, again expense, debit balance. Carriage inward, again expense, debit balance. Royalty. Royalty means what? It is again our expense of the business. It's a trading related expense, business related or purchase related expense. That's why that is also debited. New word, royalty. I will give you the full explanation of the royalty word in our regular session at school. See, in the nearest future your school will start. That's why these all the words, new words, whatever not taken in the terminology, that I will explain you in our regular class by giving the special examples of the new word, right? What is the new word? That is royalty, and we will discuss that about that word in our regular session. So here you just have to write down that royalty is the expense of the business and all expenses are debited. That's why D. Only write down D near to royalty. Carriage outward, again expense. I already explained you that what is carriage inward, what is carriage outward. Carriage inward is a purchase related expenses, carriage outwards is a sales related expenses, but both are expenses. That's why both has a debit balance. So write down D. Insurance. Insurance always our expense of the business. That's why insurance has a debit balance. Again D. Write down D. Commission received. Word received is given. I told you, whenever the commission is given, that is expense. Commission paid is given, that is expense. But the word received is given to near to any of the account, that means that is our income, and that's why it has a credit balance. So write down C, near to commission received. Bad debts. Bad debts is a loss of the business. It's also expense, not only expense, but it has loss of the business. That's why it has a debit balance. So write down D. Bad debts, D. Salary, again D. Bad debts, debit balance. Salary, expense, that's why debit balance. Legal expense, expense, what is that? That's why again D, debit balance. So D. Cash balance. Cash balance, that means what? Again, balance has a debit balance. That's why D. Cash or bank balance, both has a debit balance. That's why D. And office rent is also our expense for the business. That's why D. Okay. So all the accounts here we are writing out debit balance and credit balance. Now just put all the values in the debit balance side. Amount, credit balance side, amount, both the amount, all the amounts you have to write down and just make the tally the sum. Okay, so here we are doing the sum on the board. Question number 5. First of all, do by yourself, try by yourself this sum. Trial balance of Shree Brij Mohan.
as on 31st/3/19. Debit balance, amount, credit balance, amount.
Now just write down all the balances into the accounts. Opening stock, $7,800. Freehold assets, just new prefix is given here in each and every account, but here you just have to consider asset, freehold asset or asset, whatever, all as a debit balance. So debit balance 15,000. Sundry debtors, debit balance 6,000. Factory expense, debit balance 800. Purchase of raw material, $7,500 debit balance. Factory rent, $750 debit balance, 700 debit balance. Discount allowed, $400 debit balance. Sundry creditors, now the credit balance. Sundry creditors, $2,000 credit balance. Bad debt reserve, credit balance. $150. Commission paid, see, paid word is given, paid is not given, then also that is our expense. So commission paid, debit balance 500. Office expense 750 debit balance. traveling expense. Debit balance 100 rupees. Bank balance. Again, see the balance what is there. That's why bank balance, cash balance all has a debit balance. That is our assets. That's why bank balance 420. Loan borrowed, credit balance 3,000. Net sales or sales, both are the same word, right? Just the prefix is given. What is the meaning of net sales? See, the net sales is equal to sales minus sales return. Net sales is equal to sales minus sales return. If the sales is given, sales record on the credit side, sales return is given, record on the debit side. But here, the net of that, sales minus sales return, net amount is given here, and we have to just write down the net sales, nothing else. That's why sales or net sales both has a credit balance 33,000. Now plant and machinery, again assets 4,500. Wages expense 1,000. Carriage inward, carriage outward, both are expense. Carriage inward 90 rupees only. Royalty, I told you royalty is the expense of the business. That's why debit balance royalty 100 rupees. Carriage outward 100 rupees. Capital is the liability of the business, because business has to pay back all the capitals to its owner. That's why that is liability, and that's why it's credit balance. Capital 8,000. Discount received, word received is there, whatever the expense is there, but the word received is there, that means it's our income. Or received not given, that means it is our expenses. Okay, any nominal account is given, discount, rent, salary, all this, commission, right, interest, all the word are of the nominal account. If the nominal account only given, then it is our expenses. If the received word is given here with the nominal account, then it is our income. Okay, so here discount received, income. $360. Insurance, again expense. ₹200. Commission received, again received word is given, so that is our income. 1,500. Bad debts, loss or expense, you can say expense of the business. 150. Salary, debit balance, expense 1,000 rupees. Legal expense what is given? Expense. That's why all expenses as a debit balance 100. Cash balance. Balance what is given? That's why balance 400. Office rent. Debit balance 400. Okay, so all the accounts are here completed. Just make the total, tally it, and your sum is over. Now make the total first. 7,800. Just make the total. First of all, write down the total here. 48,010 minus these amount 2,000 minus 150 minus 3,000 minus 33,000 minus 8,000 minus 360 and minus 1,500. Yes, the total is 0. So both the side total is 48,010. 48,010. So here your second sum, that is exercise sum number 5 is over. And see here your chapter, see the next sum, read the next sum, sixth sum. Trial balance prepared by Vallabh is as follows. If any error lies in it, prepare the modified trial balance. See, whenever the word modified trial balance is there, that is the fourth point. See the fourth point of the sum, or you can say fourth illustration. Read the fourth illustration first. Trial balance of Himani as on 31st/3/19 is provided as follows. Determine whether the trial balance is correct or not from the viewpoint of the rules of accounts, and if mistakes are there, reported, prepare a modified trial balance. Modified trial balance is now not in your course. So here exercise sum number 6 is now not in your course, so cancel it. And the next point, read the illustration number 5. Only the first two lines. Total of both the sides of the trial balance on 31st/3/2019 of Sri Atul are not identical. Mathematical mistakes is there, right? Ascertain the errors and prepare the modified trial balance. Again, the modified trial balance, and here in the sum number 7, the trial balance of Sri Paresh Kumar as on 31st/2019 shows a difference in the total of the debit and credit balance. Ascertain the errors and prepare a modified trial balance. So the same as illustration number 5. Now illustration number 4 and 5 is not in your syllabus. That's why question number 6 and 7 also not in your syllabus. So cancel it. And here your full chapter of trial balance is completed. All the illustration theory is important. See, please write down. If not, please write down question number 1, 2 and 3. MCQ, one liner, and the 2 or 3 liner question answer, please write down that in your exercise book. If not, see, that is our last session homework. Exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, all the questions you have to write down in your exercise book. So I hope you complete that, and not, then please write down. And then question number 4 and 5, now I am doing in this session on the board. So I hope you all complete this chapter in example book as well as in exercise book. In example book, just we have to write down 3 examples, right? Other theories already discussed in this exercise 1, 2, 3 question. That's why don't write the other theories that we will discuss in question first session of this chapter. So don't do that. Only write down in the exercise book all these theories, and in the example book you just have to write down illustration number 1, 2, 3. In the exercise book you have to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there is no homework for today, and here this chapter is over. Now in the next, what is the next? That is illustration chapter number 11, bank reconciliation statement. See, this is not account, this is a statement. You can see the name of the chapter, bank reconciliation statement. Okay, up to that, here we are recording all the accounts. First chapter terminology, second rules, third again the GST and introduction of the GST and the detail of GST, and the fourth journal entry from 4 to 10. All are accounts related chapters. We have to prepare the accounts, right? And we have to show these to all the users of that account, including us. All the other users of accounts uses your cash balance, uses your subsidiary books as well as ledger posting and then trial balance. All the other users of or connected persons of your business is see that particular statement, particular accounts, right? This is not account, this is also statement, but it is useful to others also. So 1 to 10 chapters is not only useful to the business owner, it's also useful to the other related parties. Related party means what? Creditors, debtors, other party, third party other than business, bank, all are the users of these accounts, right? Not only it is not useful to the owner of the business, it's also useful to the other parties, third party, which are connected with the business. Also users are, that is called users of the business or stakeholders of the business, and that also use all the cash balance, subsidiary books, trial balance, ledger posting for their knowledge, right? How we deal with the other party, third party, or with us, that is depends on the accounts, right? So here trial balance is also important topic or important statement for the stakeholders of the business, right? Just like that, here 1 to 10 chapters are the important chapters, but this chapter, bank reconciliation statement, is not connected with any of the other user or stakeholders of the business. Bank reconciliation statement is only for the use of us. That is the mistake between our cash book balance and passbook, bank balance passbook, right? Mistake between these two we have to find out in this bank reconciliation statement, and just it is knowledge for the owner only. See, bank reconciliation statement is not prepared by the bank. Bank reconciliation statement is only prepared by the owner of the business, and it is not useful to any of the others. It is just for the knowledge of the owner of the business, and that's why it is called a bank reconciliation statement. It's most important chapter, as well as it will ask in 10 to 15 marks in the examination. So here for this chapter, again I am giving you 8 to 10 rules to how to do these sums, right? But before that, we just know about what is bank reconciliation statement, what is cash book, what is passbook, what is bank balance, all these bank overdraft rules, all these things we are discussing in our next session. So till that, just the homework for today, just read Reading homework I am giving you here. Bank reconciliation statement. So in the short form we can say chapter number 11 as a BRS, bank reconciliation statement. Read introduction, passbook, topic number 1, 2, cash book, 3, 4, bank balance and bank overdraft, 4, and meaning of bank reconciliation statement. Read point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. All the points. You just have to first read that, and then we will discuss about what is bank reconciliation statement, what is passbook, what is cash book, 4th point bank balance and bank overdraft. We already discussed somehow in the previous chapters, right? But we are detailing, see the detailing in this chapter. 5th point meaning of bank reconciliation statement, and the 6th point purpose of preparing the bank reconciliation statement and its usefulness or importance. Here these 6 topics you have to read, because we are discussing these 6 topics in our next session. So till that, just do your homework, and here I am complete my lecture. So thank you class, have a nice day, bye bye.